One of the most important things that I feel that we did prior to the legislative session was not only reaching out to state legislators and helping them understand the dangers of an Article V convention, but also seeking other groups, Tea Party groups and other like-minded groups that feel that we need to protect the Constitution, and helping them carry the water with us so that we can work together. And so when we got to the legislative session, many of these other groups were there to help us in testifying against these applications for an Article V convention, in addition to having a number of allies that we had won in the legislature as well. So between those two, having legislative allies, having other groups in there, it's not just, here's the John Birch Society again, it's trying to stop the convention. It's here's the Eagle Forum, here's the John Birch Society, here's various Tea Party groups, 912 groups, and so on, all coming together saying, we need to stop this application for a convention. And that certainly makes a much more powerful presence than just, well, there's one group that's against it. During the legislative hearings, there was a definite coordination of testimonies so that we weren't repeating each other. That I will cover this portion or this evidence, you can cover this portion, so that we had coordinated ahead of time, making the session go much more smoothly. Of course, that means the committees that are doing the hearings aren't as tired from hearing the same thing over and over again. Each new testimony brings up a new perspective, another bit of evidence that needs to be presented. In addition to that, we identified key legislators on that committee that we felt really needed to hear this message, and where possible, let them hear from us directly, not just in the legislative session, not just in the committee hearings, but letting them know through messages, through email, or especially if we have members in their home district, targeting them, please contact your legislator. He needs to hear from you on where you feel he should vote on this issue. One other strategy that we used was when we identified a state legislator that we felt was on the wrong side of this issue, really needed a little more information or a little more pressure, was something we've taught for many years called the 1-10-100. In order to implement the 1-10-100, you have one person talking to the state legislator, asking them where they stand or giving them some information on the topic. And if they dismiss it, they don't give a good answer, or just don't seem to think it's much of an important issue, then they hear from 10 in that same district saying, I don't think you're taking this issue seriously enough, or I'm also concerned about where you stand on this issue. And they see this wildfire starting to grow as it goes from 1 to 10 people that now are concerned. And if they still don't get a good answer, that maybe they're considering a different direction and we're going to go with you now on this position. At that point, you have 100 people flooding them with letters and phone calls and so on. And as it grows from 1 to 10 to 100, it becomes an issue that, wow, I need to take care of this. Or it's going to go to 1,000, or it starts spreading across my whole district. And so as you have people in place ready to do that, as we target key legislators that we know are on the wrong side of this, help them feel this pressure, this flood. And of course, it doesn't have to be just members. It can be other allies from various organizations or other activists we know. Bring in everyone we can to start letting this legislator know, we want you to oppose the Article V convention. And in some cases, we'll see that even if they still support it, they have enough pressure from their constituents that sometimes you just have to do what your constituents want anyway.